I know albums are like children. No one ever wants to say, hey, this is my favorite child. But this album aside, because we got to big this one up because this is what we're selling right now.
Yes.
What is Trina's favorite child?
Childhood.
As far as music. Like, like out of all if all your albums are kids, which one's your favorite kid?
Oh, I would say Still the Baddest. That was like my favorite body of work before this project, because this project is more in depth and it means so. It was more personal to me.
Is that one with Here We Go on it?
No, Here We Go is on the second album. This is the album that kind of got slept on. It was my last album on that label. My fourth album before the last, and it became, we was like in a transition through Atlantic Records and Slip and Slide. A whole bunch of stuff was happening, and this project was, to me, I think I was like in a different element when I did this project. And this was like my best records that I loved. And I didn't really shoot videos. I didn't really put the energy into the project. It was a tearing wear with me and the label. So there was a lot of stuff happening. So I felt like it was totally slept, and I was so hurt because of that. Because I felt like the second album, the third album, it was cool. I just went to work and went to the Diamond Prince. I went into all my little different phases or whatever. I wasn't really bothered with the records. I was just doing records and trying to develop. Like, I didn't want everything to sound like the baddest chick, the first album. So I was trying to make softer records, harder records, different, like just a variety of records. When I got to this project, though, I went into like the personal Trina. It was what I felt no matter what I was living. And it wasn't received that way. So it was one of those things that I was like, dang. So now when I came back with this album, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go in the studio and I'm going to just do whatever I feel like doing. It's my project. It's independent. It's a new project. I have all the creative control. I have the space. At this time, I did a deal with Sony. So I was thinking, nobody could really tell me how to run this space right now. I'm going to just go in here like this. But again, I was kind of stuck because, like I said, I was up and down. It was a lot of stuff happening in my life over these years. And all this with the album and getting pushback and delays and all this stuff. I was kind of like, You know?
But I think that's the difference between you and a lot of people. Like, sometimes people just make records for the sake of making records. Sometimes people who are real artists need things to happen to them, good and bad, just so you gotta have something to say.
Yeah, not me. I'm always around different type of stuff. I'm in Miami, so it's a whole array of things that's happening, and I live in the moment of what's going on around me. Whether we having a good time, we traveling, whether it's love, hurt, relationship, real. My friends it could be whatever. My friend could be getting divorced, and if that's the moment we're in the studio, we're gonna make a record, and I'm talking about the emotion, because there's a lot of women go through it. So I'm always in the mode of what's going on around me, and I stay alive with that because I'm always traveling, I'm always seeing stuff and new things. So it's always something to talk about. It's always stuff that gives me ideas, and it beefs me up to the point to where, okay, when I'm in the studio this time, this is what I want to talk about.
Got you. Now, random fact, one of my producers pointed out that you used to do real estate. What was the last time you sold a house?
Oh, well, this is what happened. I didn't sell the house, actually. I had just got my job, and in the job, I was like, I'm taking a client out to go look at a couple properties, and while I was taking her out, I got a call from Trick. And then Trick is loud and wild. He's early in the morning. He's like, hey, I need you to come by the studio. I'm like, bro, I'm at work. He's like, oh, you got a job? And I'm like, yeah, like people have real jobs in the real world. And he's like, okay, when you finish with your job, come by the studio. So I get off my job. I go show the lady the property or whatever. And I get off the job and I go to the studio where Trick is at, hanging out with him. Ross was there. A couple other people was there. And he's like, I want you to do this record. This is how the Nan record came out. And I just went and I was like, but do what? And he's like, I need you to just talk on the record. And I was like, okay. And I heard the record. I was like, well, let me hear what I'm going to be saying, what I need to say. So he played the record, and it was just Nan, but it was just the beat. And all you could hear was like, you don't know Nan. It was no Trick verses, no nothing. It was just that was the hook. And from Miami, Nan is like this little slang, it's from deep down south. So that's how Trick them talk. So I'm used to it. I'm like, okay, cool. But now I'm like, okay, well, what you going to say? Like, and then he goes in there. I didn't hear nothing. He said, when he came back out and I heard the record, I'm like, what the hell am I going to say after that? Like, are you nuts? Like, this is crazy. And so I went in there and my whole thing was just to like, kind of dominate what he was saying, but talk even dirtier, wilder, crazy, or whatever. After I did that, the label called and was like, we want to sign you to the label. And I was like, oh, no, we're not doing it. I'm doing a favor, blah, 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 keep it moving or whatever. And after that, I did the record. And when I heard it like mixed and they put it together, I never went back to my job, to real estate.
Really? So before that, you wasn't even rapping?
No, it wasn't even about the rap. Now was a record was just for me to just talk and like put Trick like under the dirt. Like just be that female that's gonna come through and like it's girl against guy. Like, and okay, I'm the girl. I'm the sauciest chick in Miami. I gotta hold it down. I gotta like bury this dude. Like you can't really handle me not talking slick. And that's how it kind of happened.